Anyway, I think I was baking a bit too much here with the navigation. Shit. Don't crash my stream. You're not allowed to crash the stream. And I like limit the oh, although there the voxel size was 0.5. Okay. Okay. Not so bad. Wait, I wondered when I click scan, do I generate the cache? I probably didn't generate the cache, did I? Yeah. We'll just go through all the levels one by one. think I just scanned then. Bingus, I guess. Shit, keep clicking scan. It's supposed to be generate cache. And then tools, convert. So here I'm not added in. Okay. So here we would delete this shit, add this one in, snap bounds to scene, and just generate, I guess. I wonder if I change this fella here to not have a cache. That shouldn't change. Okay. I just need to check the other ones to see that they actually have the cache. If it gets removed, then that's fine, I guess. Just recompute it. Okay, still there. Nice. Yippee! Let's see. Wait, am I not? Okay. And I guess that one does have the cache. Okay. Yeah, we're not gonna have another crash like that again, at least, which is nice. Yeah, like, look at that. Hey, did you know Gold Flipper was the adoptive father of Penguin Robber and Pigeon Gwyn? He's a bit of an anti-hero. Ah, Jade Mountain. I think I need to go to Gold Flipper. Pools. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Jade Mountain already fixed. Now it's King Pingnar Mine. Yeah, seems like it's necessary to bake all that. Okay, well. Let's scan that shit, I guess. Ah, we didn't need to scan. We're supposed to bake it into the save. Ah, TGR coming in with that rainbow dash. Nice to see you again. Long time no see. I think King Pingnar Mines has some ladders actually that we need to bake in. Bacon. For comfort, I would definitely say hammock, but they're a bit trickier to set up. You need to find trees and stuff to actually hang them up correctly, you know? I generally just like a tent because I don't know, there's something about sleeping on the ground that I like. Wait, did I close out social stream? Yes, I did. but like a proper hammock can be amazing. I find that in a tent, my quality of sleep is never that great. Yeah, well, I mean, an ultralight tent versus like an ultralight hammock is relatively going to be the same thing, right? One's not going to be much worse than the other, I would say. Might do tent for the whole privacy aspect of it, but a hammock would be kind of cool with open sky above me. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Just subscribed. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, I don't know. I usually just go for tent, but it's also like, I don't know. When I go out camping, I go camping with friends, and there's just something, you know, about sharing a tent with people. You get a big ol' ass tent, share it, but of course, situation is a bit different in kayaking, especially if you're doing like a longer trip. Then maybe you not want to be sharing a bunch of tents. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, generally, what's weird though with tents is that the single person tents are like way expensive. But the moment you do like a 2-man, 3-man tent, they actually get cheap. I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, exactly. It's nothing. But I think it's, you know, by default, the quality of sleep you're gonna get in a hammock is gonna be better. You'd need a freaking magical mattress to get quality sleep in a tent, and that's just the reality of it. But for me, I think, you know, laying on the ground, laying on like the hard ground with, you know, a small cover in between you. I don't know. There's something about that I just enjoy. And they say supposedly sleeping on a hard surface is good for your back, but what do I know? That's just what people are saying. I mean, I would love to sleep out in the open, but sadly in Sweden, that's just not realistic because we have freaking way too many mosquitoes. When winter camping, obviously, I can sleep out in the open. I don't get mosquito bites then. But then the cold is a whole other situation you have to contend with. Yeah, you want to have a mosquito net, but also one problem when sleeping in a hammock is if you get like those cheap, shitty hammocks, what can happen is that you'll just have a mosquito net that's drooping onto you. And at that point, the mosquito net becomes useless because if your body makes contact with a mosquito net, they're just going to be attacking you anyway. So it's good to look into that because some cheap hammocks will skip on that and not have good structural support for the mosquito net. They can also be a bit tricky to get into. That's another thing. So waking up in the middle of the night can be a bit tricky. And you have to also accept that you won't be like sleeping on your side. You will be sleeping a bit on your back. Well, I mean, like you can get just one of these, you know, the self-inflating ones, and you're good to go. I mean, it goes a long way. Way better than the foam mattresses. Yeah, you can't really roll around in a hammock. You just have to sort of be okay with sleeping on your back. Yeah. You're not sleeping on your stomach in a hammock. That is, you'll have to be very flexible in the back to do that. Yeah, I'm generally rolling around all over in my sleep too, so I slept in a hammock twice. And the quality of sleep is very good. But it took me longer to fall asleep, I'd say, specifically because I just never sleep on my back. Unless I'm dead tired, but generally when you're out camping for whatever reason, you don't fall asleep when you usually do. Even if I've been out biking the entire day, you know, when I'm camping or whatever, my entire body's dead tired. I could fall down and fall asleep on the spot, but still, for whatever reason, if I actually tried to fall asleep, I wouldn't be able to. It's like you're too tired to fall asleep. Your body's still on like high alert. Kind of weird. I don't know, I'm thinking I should probably boost the size of the desktop on TikTok. But also with tents, one thing is don't let yourself be scammed, because it's like what a tent does is it doesn't really shield you so much from the elements. Like it shields you from wind. It shields you from rain, potentially, assuming you have a rain cover. And it shields you from mosquitoes. Like that's what a tent's supposed to do. So don't go buying into the whole, you know, super durable material, blah blah blah. It's like a tent is a tent, and it doesn't always come back. Yeah, that's good to hear, Jerry. Gary the duck. But yeah, like a tent doesn't need to do too much to be a good tent, is what I'm saying. You can have tents that are more or less resistant to water as well in the base, which can be quite relevant if you're camping on like wet ground. I've had a disaster where I slept in a tent that was old, and it was raining a lot during the night. And I was sleeping on this sort of semi-bog area, so it was a bit of a swamp, but not entirely. There was a lot of moss. And of course, when it rains, where does water collect? Well, it collects water, right? In the moss. Collects in the moss, and it was like waking up in a pool of water, you know? I could feel the water seeping through my my mattress. It was not a nice experience. So that's, you know, that's the only thing to look out for, I would say. You want it to separate yourself from whatever's on the outside at least a bit. The option rolling around instead of sliding, you mean like rolling, stop, drop, and roll kind of roll, or? Like Sonic, okay. Yeah, maybe in Penguin Springs, or maybe with like perks, I don't know. I might look into something silly like that. Who knows? Who knows? What was I gonna do? Not village, it's survival. Well, I do need to bake the village as well. Finally, hello, Sai. Oh, thank you so much for the 10 roses. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Mad Lepak. This is Survival Graveyard, yeah. Cool headphone, thank you. Yeah, I just bought these when I was out in Sweden. Had to splurge on a new set of headphones. Today we're just going through every single level to make sure that the pathfinding is working. Because Penguin Heist, the project, I mean, we've gone through an insane amount of updates for the project, so sometimes I'm having the bug that my camera's been stuck in first person. Have you tried like pressing P to like toggle first person? Hello, Squash Bash. What's up? What do you think about my new visual layout here with my penguin in an RGB room? Pretty cool, right? You didn't know that was a feature? Okay, well then that's probably what you're accidentally doing. You're probably pressing P. So if you press P, it changes the perspective. P for perspective. Yeah, have a good one. I want to know, would you ever do a Mr. Penguin plush? I hope to, but again, it's like the latest plush we did, Large Chowder. Like, it was a struggle to get that one past 200, I would say. Especially given how easy all the other campaigns have been. So like, while I do want like the fans to get, you know, as many plushies as they want, I still have to be like, you know, am I gonna have to sort of do, I don't want to feel like a sellout at the end of the day. Like, I don't want to have to make post after post after post, like, go check out the plushie, go check out the plushie.
Patricio said, hello everyone. I'm here most to say hello and to say that I make a poll in general for a new video.
I see. Let's see this poll in general. If I make a video this week, what video should it be? Option 1, parody of original That Fish video. Option 2, a new video with the usual dumb humor. That Fish video if it was directed by Robber. Yeah, I think that's probably a good one. Okay. We'll just try Playa del Sol, I guess, to see if it works. I just need to run and use the men's room. So I'll just be right back a minute. Wait, is the microphone mute not working? Shit. Wait, it still work? Oh, okay, that's weird. Specific. Okay, wait. Okay, now it should. Okay, it's working now, sorry. Just don't want to have an awkward situation where I mute myself and then you guys hear everything, so... Anyway, be right back. All right. So I think we have done every single map, so we're gonna just start playing through them now as well. Wait. I don't know, I think the click sound is a bit too loud, but... I just want to see, like, how the NPCs look. No T-posing, which is a good sign. Bring up the stats so we can see. I think it's probably, I would assume rendering's taking up. Sorry. Let's see here. Editor loop 3.4. Yeah, rendering is 4, but fixed update and physics are also taking up quite a bunch. Like update and render are taking up a bunch as well. Log string to console. Oh. Cookie clicker click sound? Yeah. The multi-fetch trigger is spamming errors. Yep. That's that one. I wonder if I can optimize further, because it seems like it is running some redundant stuff. Row. Um. I wouldn't mind seeing more detail on what specific calls are being made, because it does feel like it's running a bit too much superfluous stuff. Like here we invoked fixed update network, but I want to see on which entities we actually invoked that. And same with network runner render, which seems to be doing much less now, but I guess I have to do a deep profile to see that. Yeah, we're gonna have to switch to a deep profile, I think. We'll restart and do that. Yeah, sadly, that's the hat that I wore. I think I was using it to record a video or something. Ah, just woke up from your slumber. A little scream there at the startup. Okay, so we're gonna profile this and it's gonna slow the heck down of the process, but let's do this, collect a bit of data. Come on. There we go. Now we have some data. Let's see. What's the dealio? Boss. So in update here, update internal. Billiards game. That running so much. Okay. That is strange. That should fix that part. Gun. Item fixed update. Yeah, we try to get the state changes all the time there. Get has state authority. Well, I guess that would be true. So, gun, yeah. That seems to be the worst offenders, at least. Another network runner render is not so bad. Okay, well, we'll do a vote restart. For bucket hat? Yeah, I'd have to change my clothes first. I'm just far too comfortable with what I'm wearing. Okay. Yeah, looking better there. I wonder with the guns, like class gun, render, not having a render fixed, update network. Wait, where's that? Oh, is that happening in item probably? No? Yeah, try get state changes here. See, this is like what I'm wondering here. Like this system should be changed to like a callback system. So, because what happens is we're polling for these state changes every single time. Instead, we should be sending these as events, right? Where we don't need to poll for the change all the time. Like we shouldn't even be looking for, I mean, okay, so the problem is that some of these changes occur on start, right? And on start, instead, we should be sending one single message as the client saying, hey, what's the current state? If that state then differs, we would tackle that. And then otherwise, as the owner, we'd be tracking changes locally. But this is overkill, I would say, as far as state tracking goes. But I don't know, like field resolver, get holder. I think that's something that's happening inside the network transform there. What did Mega send? What doesn't look messy? I need to see. Damn. Huh, neat. That's Robert's response. Holy shit. Lore dump. Thanks, dude. Yeah. Okay, anyway, so that's fine. I think it might be better to rework that into like a event-based structure as opposed to anything else. But I mean, it's like, given the quantity of network transforms and given the quantity of guns present in the level, it might be relevant to optimize for this. But it's interesting though, like item fixed update network seems to run far less, but I don't know why item fixed update network would be called independently. I mean it does say gun to items, so I don't know. There's some weird inheritance bullshit. Okay, so that's the network runner update. Then we have the AI manager run pre-compute visibility job, right? And then the physics and the rendering. And these are happening fast as shit. Okay. Yeah. I wonder, okay, so maybe we should do that now though for like items. So, I mean, what are we trying to do here? Let's look at this. Because the thing is, all of these can change. So as a host, you'd poll for changes and then send when changes occur. You wouldn't necessarily need to look through snapshots in that sense. Is dropped is a trigger, so that changes once. So that's like an event that happened. That just happens, and then as a client, you connect and you'd poll to see, hey, has this item been dropped? Okay, if so, trigger this thing. Same with state authority. Happens once. As a server, you'd send the fact that this has happened, this has changed for the item. And as a client, you'd poll for that on connection. Otherwise, you can just await the message from the server. And these, you'd also have to poll for technically. But like here, root position changed. But like when is dropped? Yeah, like here, state.isDropped is modified in multiple places. And really what we should do is not have it be state.isDropped being accessed manually, but rather an shouldn't even be part of the state for the item, should it? It doesn't need to be a state. We want to have that be strictly an event. And the same for the state authority, would not be a property. It would just be something we'd send. I think. Because we're not sending that concurrently, it's just a single update. Okay, well then let's formalize this. So we would do RPC sources all, and the sender would be the state authority, and then public void RPC. Got a notification here. So RPC request drop state, and then we'd want to have a copy of this, which is request authority state, and then public void RPC sources dot all, the targets, or that would be the state authority would be the sender, and this would be targeting all. Send drop state, and same for send authority state. And then we want to have a public void set drop state full value. And instead of having it be a state, we'd have authority state. Then we call this private drop state, or private bool drop state, and authority state. All right, state dot. Can't do that. Okay, wait. State. Right. State authority is a network ID, so network ID. So here we can do network ID if value is not equals to the authority state. Authority state equals value, and then we call the RPC send authority state. So here we do, like, that's a call and response, right? So you do RPC send drop state, RPC send authority state, which, yeah, exactly. You send that to all of them. And this is the local authority and drops authority state and drops state. Well, then I guess state drop. State is dropped equals value, or state authority. Is that what it is? Owner changed. Right, okay. Well, we just call that then owner changed. Okay. Yeah, because we'd only call that one. So you set it and then you'd send that with the network ID value and the value, and then we can do that value. So that sends the authority state, which is not value, but if so we can do network ID value. If has player owner then value equals player. Wait, okay, wait. Owner changed. State authority. Okay, well, we should just have a local state authority then. Isn't that? There, so we can just network ID state authority. And drop state RPC. Right, so when you send the drop state, that would have state is dropped, and then that would take a bool value, and then state is dropped equals value. So we're just passing along, like saying, hey, this or as drop changed. Like, is that what we're doing? We pass along the value. I guess we changed that so it accepts the value, and then full value full that is dropped, and that's not necessary. And there, instead of doing that, we do RPC request drop state. And we do that if not as state authority. And we do that for RPC request authority state as well. There, RPC send authority state set drop state. Will RPC send drop state value, and also state is dropped equals value, and the same there. State authority equals value, and then we send the value. Okay, that looks pretty sweet. Now we just need to see here. So every time we do is dropped, So we want to go to the item state definition here. So we don't need these, for example, right? That's just not necessary. So owner changed. If pass state authority oh shit, crash. Wait, I wonder though, like I changed the item state, right? Which has that. I don't know if I was using a network. I wasn't using network pool, okay. Are we just not polling for the enemies? Is it because they're out of the area of interest? Maybe I didn't set up area of interest for guns and shit either. I probably didn't. Well, this is still probably gonna be good. If we're reading, so there we're setting like we're using a setter, right? So they see here, item state authority at the bottom, right? Set state authority.
I am rich, Rick. The richest penguin on this side
Thank
of the
you.
equator.
Alice_Svaria cheered 300 bits.
Holy shit.
Different hat Goidel Fernando dancing.
Different hat. Let's go. What new hat have you graced me with? Wizard hat. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll start the stream again. It's easy. Yeah, Rich Alice. So we're optimizing a bit with the guns and items to make sure that we're not doing like unnecessary checks for ownership and whether or not they've been dropped. Which, I don't know, I mean, it might have some networking impacts, but mostly it's... mostly it is for performance, just general performance. Yeah, I am starving. Well, I was. But then Alice donated 300 bits. My life changed. And I got this kick-ass wizard hat. I mean, you guys saw my the way my shorts and TikTok stream looks now, right now. Look at this. I'm like RGB lighting. I have like custom lights. It looks like I'm in a room. I'm like, hello, it's me, Corngwin, but RGB. I was like, how do I speak to the younger TikTok audience? And I figured RGB. RGB was the way. Did you update on Insta? I'm not streaming on Insta. I'm streaming on YouTube and TikTok. Yeah, I think. Yeah, nicer gaming room, Corn. Really? Thank you, thank you. I'm listening. I don't know if like the guns have the area of interest. Maybe it's like this state change. Try get state changes happens in the fixed update, but it has to be. Okay. I bought a Tamagotchi when I was out in Sweden, and so far it has died like 5 times on me. I'm horrible when it comes to taking care of my Tamagotchi, I believe. I'm so sorry to that little creature. Feel bad for my cats. Trust me, my cats are not. See, the problem with my Tamagotchi is it's sound off, which type version 2. So it's not the one that can get jobs or anything. It's the most basic one. It's just because I had one as a kid, so I was like, it would be kind of fun to have one. Bro, I can't even shoot him. Frost has a gun. Okay, what is, Bro was a kid when Tamagotchis were a thing? Yeah, I was.
Cyptasm1 said, okay, then don't be sad. Gen 1 and 2 are not for human.
Yeah. Yeah, I had, the ones I played the most as a kid was Gen 3 and Familici, which I guess is Gen 4. I think I liked the one that had a job the most. I think that was like cool. The Familici was kind of exciting, I guess, as a kid, because it's like, oh yeah, many Tamagotchis, but I don't know, man. Just didn't hit the same. Wow, a cute penguin. Yeah. Like, is that one not coming through or something? I'm just finding out they could have jobs. Yeah, it's the version 3 could have the jobs. Yeah, I haven't had the uni one, but it has colors and shit, which I guess is the big. Yeah, these are like gaming lo-fi beats, so that's why you have the Last of Us. Yeah, okay. So the controller. Yeah, the V2 has one mini game, which is like guessing the numbers game, so you can guess high or low. That's the only game you can play with it, and there's only 2 types of food. There's burgers and cake. Whereas with Gen 3, they went, you know, they went wild, because there you could like buy food, you could buy toys for your Tamagotchi, and they could get different jobs, and it's like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm trying to rebrand here. Look at my TikTok stream again. Keep in mind, this is me on TikTok right now. This is my rebranding. I'm a gamer. I got my RGBs. I got my Last of Us lo-fi beats. Hell yeah. If I start playing that Fishes music, bleh, wouldn't work. Wouldn't work. The kids hate it. No. I think his music is wonderful. No complaints there.
Megadega1 said, "Can't wait for Penguin Springs. It's going to be everything I look for in a game, like penguins, for example."
Oh, yeah.
And, well, it's going to have penguins. The 80s vibe is also a huge plus for me and GL.
All the best and good luck. Thank you, Conscious. Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. I think so. Like, is that the issue? I think it's like the item, it can't be null. It has to be something. Let's see here. Class gun, and then we spawn bullet. And then here we'd set the controller to the input authority. Wait, spawn item. Hello, Pantalo. What's up? Like, do we have to do that? Owner changed. That might be the problem. You know what they say. One's a penguin, always a penguin. Wait, but the controller is a player ref. Okay, well... Whose voice? Ooh, be-doo-doo. Like, I don't know if that's an issue with Playa del Sol specifically, or maybe... I mean, obviously I can get shot in Research Station. So he's not able to shoot me. So bullet collider. Like there's no enemy. Like RPC damage data. Like we always do get player object controller though. There's no guarantee that the so var damage a new network ID, and then if runner dot try get like, does this result in some null thing then still? But I wasn't able to hurt him either. That's the thing, so... And controller is set. Spawn bullet. If the item manager is not null. Otherwise, the controller is the input authority. But do we take input authority over? Like owner changed. Sorry, owner changed. Kill Keb for cheating in Wordle. Yeah, we were gonna do that, but he ran away. So like if we find the Penguin controller, pick out that gun. Let's see. Started is attached. Has enemy owner is true. Okay. And has enemy owner is true is only set there, right? Yeah, okay. So the state enemy owner has been set as well. Just want to see here. Okay. I mean, there's nothing. I still don't understand. Like, do I never... Like here, okay. If the tag is with a player, Like there we send. And then it is like there's just, it's just null, but why? Like, is the controller never assigned? Like, we debug.log controller, okay? Yeah, player none. Wait, but can I send like null? I don't think I can. Is that the null one? But I was just playing with that. What? Okay. So the difficulty modifiers have just disappeared. And that's because I changed it from it's medium is supposed to be normal, right? And read modifiers normal is not possible. Because it's is that the issue? So the guns were just working fine. It was that. See, that's the thing you don't think about when it comes to like small, seemingly inconsequential changes. So like that fish changed the naming of a difficulty in the UI from medium to normal. And that had rippling effects because I was using the plain text to index the difficulties. And that made it look like, because I was making other changes to like the way bullets worked and the way guns worked, that I was thinking my changes had something to do with it, but when in reality it was the fact that he changed the naming of the difficulties. That's strange. Yeah, now he can shoot me. Perfect. Beautiful. Okay, for here, I think I want to do another deep profile, and then we're gonna sort of leave it at that, and we're gonna try to just play through the levels. I'm just gonna top up my tea, so I'll be right back. Ad break anyway, so. All right. Deep profile, and we'll see. Wait, did we just get a horse running? Guys, it's horse running time. Pull up. Let's go. Piss horse, by the way, yellow. Kind of hype. I don't think Piss Horse is performing very well, but Blue Horse is in the lead, and Blue Horse is my second favorite. Piss Horse is off his game today, for sure, for sure. Oh. Oh, come on. He's got this. Come on, yellow. $100 on yellow. $1 million on yellow. Let's go. Hell yeah. Get under that. Shit, don't go back. No, 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 that's dangerous. Ah, shit. Oh. Back in the game, back in the game. This horse still got it. Nice bouncing. Oh. Oh, oh. Holy shit. He freaking did it. Get down there. Get down. Get down. There you go. Holy shit. No. Get back down. Oh my god. This horse. No. Yellow. No. God damn it. Shit. Neck and neck with blue. Oh, the skill in yellow, man. Oh, hell yeah. Frickin' killing it. Magnificent. Magnificent. Wait, who's this? Oh, it's the horse we kicked out. The horse that was shot. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Absolute cinema. Oh, hell yeah. We've cut down on the... on the simulation time, like, loads. But we should just switch to this or something. I don't know why in the gun find with tag. Like that shouldn't. You had a rocket launcher? There already is a rocket launcher. Or do you mean like, were you not happy with the bazooka? There already is a bazooka. Already is a bazooka in the game. Like there, it takes a while to get the state and reinterpret state. €24 for what? Ah. €24 is insane for a game people have been hyped over for like years and years and years. Hmm. Do you lag your stream? Yeah, probably a little bit. I wonder, maybe we could... No, we couldn't, because we'd need to... Hmm. I wonder if I like change. Like an item, class item. And then we look up transform. Like when are we getting the transform? Yeah, it's happening there. But is that not only if it's dropped? Yeah, okay, so we can do if state is dropped. Wait, fix. Not sure why we're looking at as input authority there. That's only if it's dropped also. On controller change. That's something. Oh, that happens in gun. Uh, see here, controller changed. Should be internal. There, that should change that quite significantly. Flash enemy controller. Hello, do. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Is there a way to like do a callback for this? Hmm. Yeah, so I guess here, if object dot get component enemy controller. Going well. I'm just doing a bunch of optimizations, really. Um, like here, the get state, but I don't know if that's a result of the deep profiler or not, but I don't know. We'll see. It might run better now. I think like once you start optimizing stuff, you just want to keep optimizing forever. I need to open a window in here. It's too damn warm. It feels good to be back in Iceland. I think most of all, what I find whenever I'm on vacation is how much I enjoy my routine of work. It is very fun. Okay. Thing is, when I'm testing this, I don't get like the proper stats on shit. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a good cozy habit, I'd say, to just hop on work like this. I don't know if this is any more performant. I'm gonna have to look over this. Like the physics used seem to be a bit unproportional.
This is Fernando Miguel. He is really good at dancing.
Thank you so much.
Major Mardef has learned to dance.
Thanks so much for the follow, Major Madev. Majo Madev. Like here, we're gonna see some performance drops, namely in the form of physics, right? Yeah, so the physics chug way more over here, which makes sense. But I wonder if it's like project settings, physics. Yeah, we're using physX. I wonder if I can cut this down. But like there, the physics are running way more. I don't know if that's because I was paused for a while. Yeah. Like, I don't know that, like, This fella here, I genuinely don't think he's activated, right? Or we could pick one that's way far away. So like the monkey Gwyn. I don't think there's a bone in his body that's being simulated. Yeah, and that's true. But like here, they're all simulated. Like it would be so nice to be able to cull the enemies in the same way that I do in Penguin Springs, and I think honestly I should do that. I should. So in Penguin Springs, when enemies are far enough away from you, they won't be enacted by physics. And that is insanely helpful because most of the time we don't care if the enemies are affected by physics, right? That's completely irrelevant to us. So we could run animations on most of the enemies until we actually get close enough to them that physics start to matter. Like here, I don't get why there's... Okay, yeah, by default, when we're profiling, the performance is worse. But I wonder if I were to pause this. So let's switch away to fusion and to release. What's the name of that game the Deltarune is a sequel to? Undertale. Okay, so performance benefits aren't insane. But it does seem to average better. Okay, there are performance benefits. Still, I would want to know. Let's go into the physics debugger. Window analysis. And can we take a look at all of the non-static ones? Rigid bodies. Like static collider is 3,000. Dynamic bodies 47. Like that's not a lot. Like, is it all these axes, maybe? They're kinematic. There are a lot of trigger overlaps. Will you do this for all the levels? Yeah, I mean, I have to play through all the levels, but it's not going to be as in-depth. It's just, I'm just trying to see mostly what what is causing the physics to chug so long. I mean, okay, I don't know. I just wish that, like, I remember the physics being faster, but maybe that's just because I'm streaming as well, so that's impacting the CPU speed. Yeah. Well, I just don't know if that's part of it or not. Maybe this should be like, I don't know. Uh, it could, because I mean, my CPU is being used a lot right now. Like, I have a bunch of shit. I mean, I'm at 100% CPU at the moment, but that's for other reasons. But like, the CPU is being gobbled up 100%. Considering getting a new CPU actually. But generally, I'm at about, you know, 80 whatever percent is like common CPU usage. Okay, seems like I was able to cut down a bit here. I think, I don't know. It looks like it. I mean, this was higher there, averaging. I guess it doesn't say when I measured it, because that would be kind of nice to know. Any idea what kind of CPU you'd get next? No clue. I just... These days, when I'm upgrading my gear, I just ask ChatGPT about CPU changes. I feel like it... The problem is, when you go on to, like, online forums, right? There is so much... brand loyalty and weird, like I don't know, like tribalism almost. And I feel like ChatGPT, unlike Google, which has you know, these sponsored top 10 lists, and then forums which has these weird tribes surrounding different brands, I feel like ChatGPT is very good at cutting through the bullshit. So finding averages is like prime use of ChatGPT. And so if we're buying like gear for your computer, far superior to do that with ChatGPT than rely on online experts that will do anything to protect the honor of their chosen name brand. Like here it's 0.64. I mean, there are times where it's 1 point something. Yeah, and I mean, worse yet is that when you actually Google it, all you get as the top results, and it could be the entire first page, honestly. The entire first page can just be a bunch of sponsored articles for like top 10 CPUs that you should buy in 2025. And the thing is, first of all, the date is already out of, like, the list is already out of date because these articles are like bot generated. So someone will have made the list, taken the ad revenue or whatever, or the sponsor money, and then they just update the year. I killed the overlay? Oh shit. I think it just crashed on its own. I want to create a game in Unity. What do you recommend the first thing I do to get started? I recommend, have you made a game ever at all outside of Unity? Riddle me that. Have you ever made a game?
This
I'm-
is Fernando Miguel. He is really
Thank you so much for the
good at
follow.
dancing.
Opscore04 has learned to dance.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I don't know how to burst compile. Like, I suck with burst compilation. You have like twice? Okay. Would you say... Here's a second follow-up question. Would you say that you would feel comfortable... That was following a tutorial. Okay. Would you say that you were comfortable making Pong from scratch? Like, assuming no extra help. Let's assume the only thing you have access to is a way to handle collisions. Could you make Pong, the game Pong, from scratch? You would be? Okay. So that's an important thing to do as a sanity check before you start working on anything bigger, okay? Because I do get a lot of people who ask me where to start making games, and they want to start making a first-person shooter, but they are still not aware of how to make Pong from scratch, you know? And I think there's an unawareness of the knowledge gap that they have between where they want to be and where they currently are. But assuming that you're now in that place where you can do that confidently, then I would say figure out what kind of game you want to make. and make sure the game is only slightly more complicated than the most complicated game you have made so far. But let the game exist in any genre, but make it only slightly more complicated than the most complicated game you've ever made. So start there. Start like throwing around ideas for what kind of game you want to make, because that's very important, right? What things you need to learn depend on what kind of game you're going to make. Because when you're making a game, you're learning the relevant skills to make that specific game. If you're making a 2D game, you're not going to go out and learn how to make 3D models, right? No, you're going to learn to make 2D sprites. So make sure you have that very clear for yourself, what exactly you want this game to be. And because it's not a large concept game you're going to be making, then you should have a pretty good grasp on what sort of stuff you'll need to learn. As far as specific resources, I would say try not to look into how to make the specific game you're trying to make. So if I was making Pong, right, I wouldn't follow a tutorial for how to make Pong. I would look up, like, okay, I want to make the feature where the ball bounces off the paddle, you know? So I look, okay, how do I do that? Well, what would I need to make that happen? Well, I'd need the angle from the collisions. Okay, so maybe I just look up how to find angle from collision Unity. I've done a 2-year course in game development in Unity C#, and I'm currently doing bachelor's in computer science. Okay, well then you're gonna get a strong foundation in coding, so that's great. And I have my game idea, but like I don't know really like where to start. Should I plan it out? No, I say planning it out is overrated because plans end up changing. But scope it, right? Don't make a World of Warcraft, right? That's insane. You don't do that. But you could make a single area. You could do a single area. Don't make the next Call of Duty, the next big multiplayer game. But you could make a single level of a first-person shooter. That's a single-player game. So you have all, you know, many options, but downscale it, okay? But that's just scoping. So when I start making a game, I try to figure out what is the sort of base level gameplay mechanic that is going to get me up and running. So if I'm making a shooter, well, the first thing I want to work on is the shooting. So being able to look around, being able to shoot a gun, being able to walk around. I have that, okay. Well, what am I supposed to shoot at? Well, I'm supposed to shoot at enemies. So I put down enemies. I don't need to give the enemies AI yet. I just need to be able to shoot them and hurt them, okay? Now they're standing still. Yeah, exactly, and that's the key part. So don't ask about the bigger picture. Ask about the specific question, right? So look at the smallest possible component of the problem you're trying to solve and solve that. When you've solved every single piece of the problem, you will have solved the greater problem, right? It's like building a house of Legos. You don't just put down a wall. No, you put down single bricks, and those bricks together compose a wall. It's the same thing with a problem where the smaller parts make up the whole, and then those holes make up a greater whole, which is your entire game. And that's the thing when you're a programmer, it's the same problem you're dealing with, which is breaking down big problems into smaller problems until eventually they're, you know, atomic in size that you can solve for the simplest thing, and then add those together to make the solution to the whole. That's the key part, and that you have to do that for every single game mechanic until eventually, I mean, when it's muscle memory, right? So the more of these problems you solve, the less you have to think about them when you solve them the next time. So like when I'm solving for making a character controller, I don't have to think about how to collect input. I don't have to think about how to read which, how to know which keys are tied to what thing. Like I just know these things because I've just built it up, so I don't have to Google every single time I do it. But that comes with time, but that doesn't mean you can't solve every single problem if you know how to look up the answer right. You can. You just have to be willing and able to break down problems into the smallest possible part where you can picture them. It's just like solving a math problem, right? You follow the order of operations, and that's how you arrive at the answer. So like 4 plus 4 times 3, well, first you do 4 times 3, and then you have the answer to that, which is 12. And then you have 4 plus 12, and the answer to that, 16. And then you have the answer. So it's like the smaller parts make up the whole. And you have to carry that with you all the time. I think it's the most foundational concept for like programming. And you shouldn't underrate the ability to think in those ways when it comes to tackling new problems. You have to start breaking them down. Otherwise, like every single problem you approach, if you just see the problem and not the parts that make up the problem, you will instantly become overwhelmed. I don't know. Look at the performance here. Like that is an insane physics. I wonder if we can call the enemies. think that's what we need to do to get this performance back. Yeah, no problem. I think I think it's planning ends up being plus minus 0. Like what you lose in time for planning, you end up like, I don't know, you have to change your plans no matter what. You can never plan for everything. It just doesn't work out. Realistically, it just doesn't. Even big companies will tell you that, and they have professional planners on deck, you know. They have literally employees whose only entire job is structuring and planning projects, but even they have to end up doing delays because there are unexpected things that come up. You can only plan for so much. So yeah, I think for sure also, like, the more you plan, the less you the more you second guess yourself, and the more you I don't know, you just don't feel like you're making progress, do you? Because you're just coming up with ideas all the time. You're never actually sitting down and getting to see the thing you're thinking about form in front of you. So just toss yourself in the deep end of the pool and just go for it. Yeah, it's no problem. I enjoy yapping. Yeah. See you tomorrow. How do you get started in game dev? I was just releasing games with my friend. So I've always had an interest in it since I was a wee lad, but then I was doing my master's in computer science when I released this game, and I've been able to work on it full time ever since. But you know, I just released smaller games, and I think it's just up until I realized that I could actually finish a game, I was always, you know, dreaming too big, getting burnt out. And it's like, if you never finish projects that you set your eyes on, like, I don't think you'll ever fully release a game, and you will just be like a chronic tinkerer, you know? What games you released? So they're all on my itch.io. Many of them are shit posts, but it's a couple. I mean, these are like game jam games and stuff. But like in terms of serious games I've released, it's The Walking Fish 2. Return of the Skeletal was the first sort of game I released, and then I released Detective Penguin recently also on Steam, which is a spin-off. And then the Penguin Heist. So it's a couple. But yeah, The Walking Fish, The Walking Fish 2, Return of the Skeletal, Detective Penguin. So it's a couple, you know? It's a couple. That seems to be the magic formula, isn't it? Yeah, Penguin Heist I did, yeah. I'm working on Penguin Heist right now. I mean, this is Penguin Heist right here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the culling shit. Like it's... I don't know why the... Yeah, I mean, what I'm doing now, and I'm glad you played it, what I'm doing now is I'm rewriting... Like I've redone the entire multiplayer networking code from scratch. I have upgraded to Unity 6 from Unity 2022, or was it 21? I forget. Maybe it was 2022. I have made the pathfinding multi-threaded, which was not the case. So I'm just doing like a shit ton of optimizations right now. I've never gone this deep into optimizations ever. This is like without a doubt the most down the rabbit hole I've gone when it comes to optimizations, and it's been really fun, I have to say. It has. Because I feel like I'm learning so many things that I've just never bothered to learn before. Which is also something I will say, that don't be scared of just like absolutely going bananas in terms of like learning new things. I think the less willing you are to embrace that you're always learning, the more you're thwarting your growth as a developer, 100%. Like there comes a point where it's like, okay, you don't need to learn every intricacy of this concept in order to work with it. But at the same time, it never hurts. How do you deal with burnout? Because I feel like this might be a big issue for me when I start game development. I try to think of myself as a battery. So if I wake up the next day if I work one day and wake up the next day feeling more tired than I did the day before, and this cycle keeps repeating, so I just feel more tired every single day I wake up, that's a bad pattern, because then that means that the amount of work you're putting in through a day is draining you more than you're able to rest when you go rest, right? And I think that's a negative cycle that you should avoid. And you can notice that quite easily, I think. I don't think it takes too much insight to notice that, you know, if you feel like every single day you're showing up to work, you have to force yourself with every fiber of your being to show up at work, then you're probably working yourself too hard. Or there's some other circumstance beyond work that you have to figure out. You know, sometimes you can burn out not just because of work, but because of the circumstances in which you sort of find yourself in. But I find having good routines, showing up at work at the same time, and you know, don't be like, for me, I think switching the context in which I work helps. So sometimes, because I'm streaming, right? I'm streaming from home when I work. And sometimes I just feel like, man, I just cannot show up to stream today. It's like, I've just been sitting at home in my office like for 4 days straight now. And it's like, I'm not going outside. I'm not doing anything. Then it's like, okay, slow down. I'm going to work today, but I'm not going to work on stream. And I'm just going to go out to a cafe, bring my laptop along with me and work out there. And that context change is like reinvigorating 100%. So like, you know, I don't think you should be too hard on yourself. But still, you could be surprised by how much you can actually work and not get too tired. Like, especially if you're doing something that's really, you know, gets you going. Or you're doing something where you're really in the flow. So like, I find working on like making models or like strictly coding, I can get really in the flow there. And then I feel like I can sustain myself forever, you know? I can just go at it. But then I do other work stuff, like for example, maybe I am I don't know, doing this stuff where I'm just going in and out of levels, debugging shit. I can't get into a flow with this. It's never a flow. Because it's just constant context change, right? You're never doing the same thing. You're always switching between scenes, and you're just getting like distracted because you're jumping between menus and you have to wait for load times and bake times and blah blah blah. And there you can feel like, man, this is like soul crushing, because this is not fun. This does not make me feel any smarter. This is not making me like a better code or anything. It's just like banging your head against the wall for an entire workday. But this is some stuff you just have to do. And if it becomes too much, I think see if you have anything else you can work on, something that feels a bit more rewarding. Like maybe you've been putting off that soundtrack that you haven't been recording. So like, okay, I'm gonna take a break from this debugging and I'm gonna work on my soundtrack. So you're still making progress on the game. You're just doing something slightly different. And that can work. And one more tip, if you're doing like a seriously long-term project, like if you've been working for a very long time on a project, try doing a smaller project, like a seriously small project, like, you know, like 10, 20 times smaller than whatever project you're working on. It's like 50-50. So I work with one other guy and he does all the music, at least. I haven't touched the music. Well, I have made some songs, but not for like the main soundtrack, but the music you can hear on the radio in the game. And then models, he's made all the levels mostly. I will have made all of the penguin models and all the clothes models and stuff. So it is split quite neatly between us. Like this guy. Yeah, but yeah, just finishing small projects in between. You can do like a game jam or something, you know. But just make sure you finish it and then get back to your big monolith project, you know? Because if you keep doing project jumping like left and right all the time, that's not going to be a good situation for you. Don't jump projects. Don't have like two big projects you're working on. Try to, you know, if you're making a smaller project, finish that smaller project. Because if you're working on a big project, you're gonna have times where you feel like, you know, you're not really achieving anything. Because it's like, you know, maybe over the course of a month, you've only done 5% of the scope of the entire project. And that's gonna be, you know, that's not fun. That's rough, if that's the case. So getting that dopamine hit and sort of like, hey, I can actually finish something in between is pretty nice. How long does game development take you before you publish your game? Well, it depends completely. I mean, you could have a game done in a month. But in my case, I mean, I've been working on this game for, 5 years now. But of course, it's in early access. We released early access in July 2021, so 4 years of early access. Yeah, it's muscle memory, dude. How you do it. Hmm. Oh wait, is it? I think I do that outside of. Yeah. Like this one shouldn't even be active. Let's see here. Is called is defined. Like this little fella. When writing code, or are you at the stage where you can literally just write the top of your head, or do you use AI or Stack Overflow? Yeah, I think I barely use either one. I think, at some point, a lot of code is just memorizing syntax, and a lot of it is understanding sort of the way that people structure things in whatever language you're writing in. So at that point, you can sort of imagine what possibilities you have for doing specific things. So like if I have this enemy and I want to make him move forward, well, I know that Unity has a physics engine. So with the physics engine, you can generally get like a vector. Okay, and the vector would represent this one's velocity. So then I just need to figure out, okay, how do I get the velocity of the vector? Well, first I'd need to access whatever is running the physics for the object. Okay, so I could look up sort of what are the specifications in the Unity documentation for like accessing physics, and they talk like, okay, there's rigid bodies. Okay, well then I just access the rigid body. So I would just do, you know, I know in Unity you can get components, so I would do get component and then rigid body, which is the part that handles the physics, and then I do, well, velocity. Okay, so there's angular velocity, and then because I have built-in documentation here, it says the angular velocity vector of the rigid body measured in radians per second. Linear velocity of the rigid body. Okay, well, angular is for the angles, right? And linear velocity is for the velocity in 3D space. Well, then I do that, and I know that there's vector 3, which is the representation of vectors, and so on and so forth. Like, you have all of these things that you just memorize. You just go. And sometimes, many times, you don't even have to like look up documentation. You just know where to look in you know, like, I don't know. If I have the transform, which represents a position, rotation, and scale, and I want to move its position, well, I would probably type transform dot and then see, okay, well, there's a position. Okay. And then I am assuming that the position lets me change it, so I can just do plus equals. And then I know vectors. Well, I can just do vector dot forward, and so on and so forth. Like you just, there's a pattern to everything when it comes to code. You can just leverage that. Right, so the default would be triggered by anything. Oh yeah, see you later. Have a good one. Stream is almost over anyway, guys, so you don't have to fear. And for all you watching on TikTok and for all you watching on Twitch, make sure you follow. Don't want to miss the other streams. Is call this true. Physics appears relatively stable. Okay, well, I think we'll leave it at this. Follow, leave a like, subscribe, you know the drill. And I'll see you all tomorrow. So have a good one.